When we bought this house just over a year ago, it was basically an empty shell, 4 walls and a roof. And we had some big decisions ahead of us, not just renovation wise, but also what we would fill the home with, what items. Over the last few days, I've been walking around the house and I've compiled a list of 10 items that I simply don't think I could live without in this particular house. So let's jump into the list. Okay, I know you're probably saying to yourself, Dean, why are you standing in the corner of your bathroom in the shower? Well, the reason is that I can't imagine not having in this house is the shower floor, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, so what's so special about this stone shower floor? Well, I'm going to tell you. So unlike a traditional shower base, I'm sure you've all seen the white shower bases that are pretty much standard in most houses. This doesn't require cleaning. Kind of think of it like a pebble on a beach. If you've ever seen pebbles on a beach, which I'm sure you have, they're never dirty. The sea just cleans them all the time. And it's kind of the same effect here when you're having a shower. Unlike the white shower trays that we've all seen so many times, once they've been used a few times, it doesn't matter how much you clean them, they just never look the same. Whereas this, it's just as good as it's always been. We've had it in here now since October, it's now August, and it looks just the same. So again, this is something that I can't imagine having done different in this house. Okay guys, this next item isn't just an item that I couldn't live without at this house, it's an item that I couldn't live without anywhere in the south of Spain, and it's my umbrella. Right now the ambient temperature out here is around 40 degrees, and honestly, if I didn't have that and I was sitting just in the sun, I'd probably last less than 5 minutes. But with that, I can sit here comfortably for hours enjoying a drink, catching up on the news, whatever it may be. So that is something wherever you live in the south of Spain, you must have. Okay, this next one is one that I think if I was normally putting a list together, I would just completely overlook it. I wouldn't even give it a second thought. So can you guess what you think this one may be? It's behind me on this area if it narrows it down. Any idea? Let me show you. So yeah, it's this, our kettle. Now, you're probably thinking, so what? It's a kettle. But I've had a lot of kettles in my lifetime because I do like a good cuppa. But this is absolutely amazing. I think this was around 180, 190 euros, which is probably more on the expensive side for a kettle. But after having this now for what, we've probably had this 7, 8 months, something like that, I can genuinely say it's worth every penny. So why is it worth every penny? Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, when the kettle's boiled, it plays you this little tune to let you know that it's finished doing its thing. Secondly, unlike any other kettle that we've had here in Spain, we've had a lot of kettles, over the 20 years. This just doesn't lime scale at all. The element, the inside of the kettle just doesn't lime scale, period. I don't know if that's a feature of the kettle, if it's something that they know that it doesn't lime scale, I don't know. But I promise you, this kettle is just like new, constantly inside. But the main feature of this kettle that I particularly love is this button here, because if you push this button, what it does is it acts like a thermostat, so it just keeps the water hot all the time, just like your hot water boiler does. So this is a game changer and definitely something now that I couldn't live without. Okay, this next one, I'm going to see if you can guess it. It's in this reception area here. And I'm going to give you a warm clue. It's over in this direction. So I'll give you 3 seconds to see if you can work out what it may be. Okay, that's your 3 seconds. Have you guessed? I'm going to pretty much guarantee you have them. So I'm going to tell you what it is. It's this. It's our door hatch. So why can't I imagine this house without that hatch? Well, there's several different reasons. One is having that open, and we pretty much have it open all day. It gives a nice breeze coming through into this reception area. Secondly, it gives a nice natural light. But the main reason is that if we have deliveries, and we get quite a lot of deliveries, I can be in the kitchen, the dining room, the lounge, the terrace, wherever I may be. And the delivery guys simply stick their head through and just shout out our names. And if we don't respond, then they just put the parcels down there on the floor. So for us, it's a complete game changer. Now, you might think, well, just put a camera doorbell up there. Well, that's the problem. Here in Spain, you're not allowed to film out into public spaces. You need a particular license, and it's a lot of aggravation to get it. So for that reason, this hatch completely solves that issue for us. So yeah, for that reason, I can't imagine having this house without that hatch now. Now, of course, it's not that I couldn't live without this rug, because I could. But the truth is, I wouldn't want to live without this rug. And the reason being is that I think it just completely changes the way this room looks. And here's the story with this rug. We looked high and dry to try and find a rug just like this, and we just couldn't find them. It didn't matter whether we was looking in shops or whether we was looking online. We couldn't find anything. And then we went out for breakfast one day, and you know, if you've been to Spain before, you quite often see those guys walking around, typically tourist spots, selling fake football shirts and stuff like that. Well, one of those guys come up to us and was trying to sell me a fake football shirt. And of course I wasn't interested. And jokingly, I said, if you got any rugs, I'll have one. And he come back with 3 or 4 different rugs. And this was one of the rugs he come back with. He wanted 180 euros. In the end, I managed to get it down to 50 euros because I felt it was worth it. But yeah, absolutely love this rug, and it completely changes the feel of this room. So for that reason, I couldn't live without it. Okay, this next item isn't something that I couldn't live without, and it's these doors. Now, when we bought this house, if you watched any of the renovation videos, you'll know that all the doors we had in this house throughout were, I think the only way to describe them, were hideous. Downstairs, we had basically the whole of downstairs, we had these like metal doors. And then upstairs, we just had the cheapest, most hideous doors that have been hand painted throughout the whole of upstairs. So when we put these on, it completely changed the feel of the whole house. We went for this kind of door throughout the whole property. These are solid pine. We got them stained in this colour. We also had new door frames as well, because unlike, say, in the UK, a lot of the time you just have door frame fascias, which are basically a bit of wood that sits over the wall, if you like, to give the appearance of a door frame. But here we went for solid frames that are built into the wall as well. And then, of course, we finished them off with this black hardware. But yeah, I could live without it, but would I want to? No. Okay, the next item that I 100% couldn't live without, and that is this, our air conditioning unit. Now, this unit basically acts as not just the cooling system, but also the heating system for this room, the room behind the camera, and the dining room there also. And it does an absolutely amazing job. Obviously, at this time of year, it's in August right now, the heat is insane. So, you know, for example, in the evenings, if we're sitting here in the lounge watching a movie, whatever it may be, we have this on, we have it set at 22 degrees. And I'm going to be honest, quite often after maybe 45 minutes, I start to get a little bit cold, to the point where I often say to my wife, can we turn that off or down, because I'm getting too cold. But at the same time as well, another reason that we simply couldn't live without this is it also acts as the heating system as well. Again, for this room, the room behind the camera, and the dining room as well. And it does an incredible job. Now, when we bought this machine, we could have gone for a machine that was maybe, I don't know, certainly at least 50, maybe 60% of this price, but we went for a medium brand, and I'm so glad we did. The other thing with this machine is as well that not only can we, of course, operate it from this remote control, but we've actually got apps on our phone. So if we want to, say for example, we're out and we want to come back to a nice cool room, or we want to come back in the winter to a nice warm room, we can turn it on, we can select how long we want it on for, and we can even choose the temperature we want it set at, all from our phone, from wherever we are in the world. So a great buy, and certainly something that I couldn't live without. Okay, the next thing, guys, is this spinning above my head. Now, we're in August right now, and it's Spain, so it's seriously hot. But this keeps this room super cool. And I know a lot of people are saying, no, it's just going to push around the ambient temperature. But I promise you, if you stood here right now, you could happily stand here the whole day. That is how good that is. Now, thankfully, with this nifty little remote control that we've got with the fan, we can increase the speeds from 1 to 6. On 6, it literally sounds like a helicopter. It's that powerful. Your hair's going all over the place. But also as well, what's interesting with this fan, don't ask me how it works, I don't know. But right now we've got it pushing cool air down. But in the winter, you can actually change that and actually have it pushing warm air down. So I'm not sure of the science behind it, but I can tell you it works. But yeah, these are absolutely fantastic. And like I say, I can be in this room all day long, even though we've got plus 40 heat out there, and I'm completely cool. Next is this, my breakfast bar, because as strange as it sounds, I would say if I count all the hours in a week where I spend the majority of my time, it is probably here. And it's for several reasons. Not only do I sit here and have my tea or coffee or breakfast in the morning, but most of the work that I do on this channel, I actually do here. I could do it maybe in a dining room or somewhere else in the house, but for some reason, I just like being in the kitchen. I've got everything around me. If I want to make something to eat, make a drink, the fridge, whatever. But this 100% is something now that I genuinely could not imagine not having in this house. And then the very last item that I know I couldn't live without in this house is this bed. And it's not actually the bed per se. Let me show you. And this is the reason, guys, why I say I couldn't live without this bed, is because I know you've seen these a million times before, but it's a storage bed, and these really are a game changer for anywhere. It doesn't matter what size property you've got, you can never have enough storage. So we've got this one here where we store just cases, shoes, all kinds of stuff. And then in one of the other bedrooms, exactly the same. We just fill the bottom of the bed with all the stuff that's not easy to store. And of course, these two, we couldn't imagine living anywhere, me and my wife, without Cookie and Brandy. These two, as much of a pain they can be sometimes, they make the home. Don't you, girls? Huh? You make the home. So guys, out of all the items that you've seen today, tell me one item out of that list that you think is a must-have. Anyway, if you've enjoyed today's video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free to do. So it's not going to cost you a penny. So make sure you do it. Anyway, enjoy whatever you're doing for the rest of the day, and I'll catch you in the next one.